Bluff City Media presents The Anthony Sain Show on YouTube at Bluff City Media. Stepping up to the microphone is your host, Anthony Sain.
Acknowledge me.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to The Anthony Sain Show. This, of course, is your host, Anthony Sain, here live from the Bluff City Media Studios. Got my man, Paris Sharkey in the building. Paris Sharkey, what's going on, brother?
Let's get it, man. What's going on?
Man, trying to make it for the take it, brother. I drove out here today, man. I'm going to tell you, man, I had let me set the show up before I start telling stories about my weekend. Got a special guest today, Jonah Dylan from the Commercial Appeal, covers Tiger football, also does some Grizzly reporting, kind of doing the same role that Evan Barnes had when Evan was here in the city of Memphis for the Commercial Appeal. He's going to join us for the Sitdown with Sain. Really excited to bring him in. I want to get him in real quick to talk about the Tigers' big win the other day, 56-14 over Bethune-Cookman. He's going to join us for the Sit-Down with Sain. Of course, for the three-pointer, we're going to talk about USA basketball. Mikey Williams had an update. We're going to talk about that. And Mike Norvell, that man's seat was hot for a few hours Saturday, but he cooled it off real fast with a big win over LSU. We're going to talk about that, some comments that were made before that game, and his response after the game. We're going to talk about that today for the three-pointer. But first, since we last talked, Paris Sharkey, speaking of hot seats, the man that could have possibly made Mike Norvell's seat a little warm, Coach Prime. I'm not going to call him Deion Sanders. I'm going to call the man by the name that he chooses to be called, Coach Prime. My family had a family reunion over the weekend. It was out in the country, Paris Sharkey. You know, black people, we say, out in the country, it could mean several small towns that you
anywhere
outside of Memphis, yet in Tennessee. But I was out in the country for a family reunion, and my cousins were in unison pulling out their phones, whether it be the ESPN app or the Fox app or some bootleg stream or just checking the scoreboard online. We all were Colorado fans pulling for Deion Sanders to get that first win against TCU.
I feel like the whole black people in unity. We
who
were all in
telling?
unison. Like even everybody that was mad at him leaving Jackson State, they all was still rooting for him. Like,
yeah, man. We were rooting for the game, checking our phones, and saw that Colorado pulled the upset win over the 17th ranked TCU. Woke up today. Colorado's ranked number 22 in the nation. Shout out to them for that. Coach Prime had smoke for any and everyone that wanted some of it after the game, too. Do you believe that? Do you believe?
Hey, I love it.
Oh,
and that's him. Like, he's acting like himself. That's how he's always been.
Man, it's incredible, man. It's incredible. I'm loving every moment of it, man. Coach Prime kept receipts. I don't know who that poor lady was, but I'm really surprised he didn't get it this morning too, man, because, whenever guys are kind of mean to a lady reporter, it hits a little different. He was being a little mean to that lady for sure, man. He was getting her ass for sure, so I'm surprised nobody really got him after his rant. He was going off for sure, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. It's so fun. It's so awesome to see him do what he's doing, man, for sure.
Yeah, to that point, like, I watched College Game Day that morning before that game, and, like, Lou Holtz.
Do you believe?
Yeah, they were just, like, saying they wouldn't, they had 87 transfers come in to Colorado.
Yeah.
He had the viral video telling the players from last year saying he had to bring his luggage and they can go. Mm-hmm. And they was like, no, that ain't the way you're supposed to go about that. You're supposed to go out and turn over. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the thing, man. I'm glad you said that because Coach Prime, shout out to my boy Jay Ham, who came on to the show, one of our first shows. Jay Ham, a local podcaster, local reporter, Jay Ham. He said something. I'm like, bro, if you made that up, you need to copyright that right now. He said guys like Deion and Penny out here participating in Portal Combat.
I like that one.
Man, I love it, man. I love it. If you didn't copyright it, you better hurry up because I'll have it on the Gildan by tomorrow if you keep messing around. But yeah, man, shout out to Coach Prime. This is what I'm loving about what he's doing. He made comments without making comments the other day. And maybe this is my black brain. Maybe this is just me, maybe it's just my black brain thinking, man. But he made comments and he said something about they're mad about what I'm doing. because I'm a what did he say? I think he said, how did he describe himself?
I don't know if he said African American or black, but
he said he's a black coach, but with 75% black players, and then different reporters, different radio guys, podcasters, whatever. Breaking news, Deion, everybody's team is at least 75% black and all that. But y'all get what that man is trying to say, man. Y'all can play around and, pity-pat around like you don't get what he's trying to say. What he's saying is, there have been other black coaches in college football. There have been other teams that have, vastly majority, African-American players or black players on the roster. But you ain't seen nobody that's got that break the league, break the code type swag that Deion has, that type of appeal to go into a locker room and just snatch a kid from whoever coach thought you had this kid. You ain't had that before, man. Most of the guys who have been black coaches have been kind of cornball or just, guys just trying to keep a job and all these type of things. That's not Deion's MO, man. Like, he's the type of guy that can come in and uproot a lot of shit that's been going on in college football. He's the kind of guy that can make the Nick Sabans be like, all right, you know what I mean, for real.
Like how he got Travis Hunter.
He got Travis Hunter. You know what I mean? So I think that it could be scary for the rest of college football for sure, man. Because Deion, like I said, has that appeal where he can come in and snatch a guy from whatever coach thought he had a kid, for sure. You're talking about one of the most enigmatic athletes, period, of all time. There's no one in the NFL that's as big as an icon as Deion Sanders was when I was young, when I was in my high school age. Deion Sanders had a shoe that to this day is a classic Nike shoe. His turf trainer shoe was iconic. Really a big deal. This guy was super marketable, man. You know what I mean?
Box office.
Played baseball, played football.
In the same day.
Talked the shit, had the gold chains on the court. He was ninja-ish. You know what I'm saying? Super ninja-ish, man. You know what I mean? Like, just a real one. It's just Deion, man, prime time. And I think he has a massive appeal that people are really, I think these dudes are spooked out of their effing draws, man, about Deion Sanders because of things he can do, the things he's already done. Now, here's the thing. He's going to lose games. He's going to lose games that he probably should have won, and people are going to come for him or whatever. But the fact that this dude came out week one and beat a ranked team on the road after all the criticism he was getting, all the people doubting what he was doing, you can't come in. You can't. This ain't HBCU. This ain't SWAC. You can't come in and do this. You can't play guys both sides of the field. He's showing you I can, and he's going to do it. I don't know what kind of season those guys are going to have. I think Colorado's going to be good. Their season may go up and down. I don't know. I don't hope they don't take that as doubt because Coach Prime. Don't ask me if I believe, brother. I believe. But I'm just being realistic. They're going to lose games. They're going to lose, games here or there. And I know the criticism is going to come back, but you can keep all that because he's shown you that what he's about to do is going to work. I went on Nike.com, Paris. I said, give me a Colorado shirt. Guess what?
Skyrocket.
Gone. Ain't none.
Sold out.
Ain't none. On Nike.com. They had some cold ones. They had Colorado with Prime across the front.
Oh, wow.
Gone. Man, I want one of them joints bad, man. All they had was like some basic Colorado hoodies, but all the T-shirts, like the long sleeve, like whatever.
Yeah.
Muscle shirt things.
See.
The sweat joints.
Dang. And think about it.
Gone.
Like, not only did they beat a ranked team, they beat the defending national runner-up. Like TCU was in the national championship.
Yeah,
last year.
man.
Although they got they got a whole new team as well, but still.
Man, I'm down for it. I am officially latching on to the Colorado Buffaloes. Like,
same.
I love my Tigers or whatever, but hey, come on, man. Come on, bro. Like, I'm pulling for Coach Prime for sure, man. It's exciting. I love the shit he's talking. I don't know why people expect anything different. And he's going to, man, don't let this dude run off 4 or 5 in a row, man. Oh, no. And constantly be climbing in the rankings. And his recruiting, somebody was like, this Deion's the last dude you want to see, like, shaking hands and hugging your players after the game, man. Because his portal comeback, like Jay Ham said, for sure. Man, I'm telling you, I'm super excited for it. I'm tired of seeing the way that college football has been for the majority of my life, man. With these guys, these out-of-touch dudes. Same thing with Penny, man. Penny's a dude who, hey, come work out with me this summer, fam. Mm-hmm. Yep. You know what I mean? You know you're playing for me.
And even like with Penny, even players that didn't even play for him, like RJ Hampton and Quentin
That kind of stuff matters, man. Yep. When people see NBA players out literally working out with the guy who's recruiting you. Like, that kind of stuff matters, bro. Like, And I'm excited about it. My man, Shedeur Sanders, 510 yards passing. When I saw that number, I was like, damn, they got to be combined. Like, he must have been running or something. No, he threw the ball for 510 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Like Coach Prime said enough. There's a guy who y'all thought was just an HBCU quarterback who didn't need to be starting for a Power 5 team. Really shined. Travis Hunter, come on, man. Speechless. Dude looking like
126 snaps.
Come on, man. Defense. Come on, man. That dude was looking stupid cold. Here's the thing about him. He reminds me of, I remember how fun Charles Woodson was in college.
Yeah.
And how iconic that 21 Raiders jersey was. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Man, dude, like Travis Hunter's looking like that dude for sure, man. And both of those guys are looking like guys that you have to put in the early Heisman conversation. Mm-hmm. Man, I'm so amped about this shit, man. Good God, man. I was so amped about this, bro. I got to get some Colorado gear. I got to get on that bandwagon. Say what you want. Say what thou wilt. I will be supporting my Colorado Buffaloes till Deion ain't there, and I'm going wherever he goes.
Right.
Just know that for the next however long, because he's going to succeed, man. Like, he's not going to fail as a coach at all. Nope. I love the thing he's doing with the leaders and dogs. Instead of having team captains, he have guys that wear an L for leaders and D for dogs. I love it. That kind of stuff matters to guys when you're in the locker room. I mean, when you're in the living room. I'm telling you, man, that dude is going to put some nasty recruiting classes together, and he's going to have guys that are going to ride for him, man. Like, these Netflix documentaries and all that type of stuff. Ask Calipari, does that type of stuff work, man? Doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. When you get this, when kids can see you on television. You remember when Calipari had that run where he was doing the best damn sports show on Fox Sports?
Yep.
That kind of stuff matters, man. And Deion is such a great personality. Man, Coach Prime, man, I'm on your jock, man. Ain't gonna lie. I'm super excited to see a guy who was a sports icon from my childhood now be on this stage looking like he's about to effing break college football, man. I'm excited about it. I love it. But, yeah, man, we're about to take a break. When we come back, it's going to be the Sit Down with Sain with my guy, Jonah Dylan from the Commercial Appeal. Excited to have him on. Jump in to talk about Tiger football. Big win for them as well. 56-14 over Bethune-Cookman. We're going to talk about that and more with my man Jonah Dylan from the Commercial Appeal. We'll see you guys in a minute on the Anthony Sain Show.
The last time they had players with that level of shiftiness, just it's a different look, you know, like it's a different kind of movement that Blake Watson and Sutton Smith have that we haven't seen in Memphis since Kenny. Like, and the dynamic ability that adds is huge, because not only can you use them between the tackles, outside the tackles, but they've both shown that they can be effective receivers. I think Blake had 5 catches for like 37 yards in this game on top of his 75 rushing yards.
3 touchdowns in the first half,
Right. So we've been high on this backfield saying that they have weapons. Still, this took that to the next level.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. Bluff City Media and Bluff City NIL are proud partners of Coaching for Literacy, a Memphis nonprofit using the power of sports to impact childhood literacy. When you donate to Bluff City NIL through Coaching for Literacy, your gift is 100% tax deductible. This partnership is a win-win-win. Tiger student athletes win in the NIL landscape. Coaching for Literacy wins by engaging Tiger student athletes in this monumental cause. And most importantly, elementary students in Memphis receive support to become strong readers. To donate today, visit coachingforliteracy.org/bluff-city. They named the captains.
Did name the
Remind
captain.
me.
I know exactly who they are, and they nailed
Jonah,
it.
Seth. What? I thought it was Jonah.
No.
Jacob. That's what I meant. Jacob. Why is that so funny?
He said this was the first time he had a player voted captains.
Really?
This is player voted.
Silverfield said that?
Yep.
So how much does that say Simeon Blair, who was an Arkansas captain, but how impressive to come in as a transfer? You've been through one spring and half of a fall camp and you get voted a team captain.
Have you ever heard Ryan Silverfield talk about a player the way he's talked about Simeon Blair?
No, literally no.
I'm just saying.
Rumor
it's
has it
slightly concerning
that they are considering renaming Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. Simeon Blair Liberty Stadium.
I can confirm that, actually.
I'm letting you know, when you see the mock-up come out,
Not Simdog Stadium.
that would be cooler.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all, welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. For the Sit Down with Sain, I have a very special guest. I just met this brother the other day, actually. I reached out to him, wanted to bring him on. Tiger football just had a big win over Bethune-Cookman. This is the man who covers them every day for the Commercial Appeal. Also covers the Memphis Grizzlies as well. You'll see him doing some stories for the Grizzlies. This is my man, Jonah Dylan from the Commercial Appeal. Jonah, what's going on, bro?
I'm excited to be here.
I'm glad you could come on, man. I had a little misnomer, a little mishap I had to take care of. Had my man popped on for me real quick today, and I appreciate you, man. It's actually perfect timing. Glad I could get you on after the Tigers had that big win, 56-14 over Bethune-Cookman. What are some of your takeaways, especially like as far as the crowd energy? What did you take away from the game, being your first game covering the Tigers as well?
The crowd, I thought the crowd was good. I got there early. The Tiger Walk was pretty cool. Obviously I'd never seen that before. The attendance numbers, basically all the game on Twitter, all I saw was arguments over if it was good attendance, if it was bad attendance. While I was trying to watch the game. You got to put it in perspective, right? Like, it's an FCS team. It's week one. We're trying to ramp it up. So, there were some empty seats, but I think it'll be more interesting to see, like, how many people are there when we talk about conference games, and especially if the team is doing well. Yeah,
there's a lot of factors that can kind of play into why the attendance may not have been as good. We didn't have the best season last year either. In past years, we've had different things like trying to see where Seth Hennigan was, or all these type of things. We kind of know what Seth is as a quarterback at this point. Plus, like you said, it's not a good team that they're playing. I'm expecting a better turnout in a couple of weeks when they come back home. But yeah, I'm not going to trip too hard off the crowd at all. Memphis held Bethune-Cookman to under 100 yards. And in one of your articles in the Commercial Appeal, you suggested that might not be just a Bethune-Cookman thing. You think that the Tigers' defense could be a top-tier, upper echelon defense for the rest of the season. What are you seeing so far, whether it's from practice or from the game that you saw from Bethune-Cookman, makes you think that this Tiger team could have that elite-level defense you're describing?
Well, look, I got here this summer. I've only been here a month. But people you talked to before the season started, they're talking about this is the best defense they've had in a while, maybe under Ryan Silverfield. So they feel like they have older players. They brought in Simeon Blair from Arkansas. People are really excited about him. And they feel like this defense is ready to kind of carry the team. Obviously, 1 week, less than 100 yards. If you look at the stats, number one defense in the country. So they'll take that for now. And then you go into Arkansas State, who scored 0 points last week. So that could continue, obviously. And it was a weird game because the offense actually allowed more points than the defense, right? There a pick six and then a fumble return for a touchdown. So the defense allowed 0 points and it allowed under 100 yards, which is pretty amazing against anybody.
What do you think about the running game? Because there's been a lot of question marks about the running game this year. People are wondering, will we have a more consistent running game this season? What did you think about what you saw from week one?
Yeah, it was really good. Sutton Smith rushed for 100 yards. It was the first time Memphis running back did that in almost 2 years. So it was good that we don't have to talk about that anymore. We can just say, okay, it's only been a week or whatever. I think what I noticed was in the offseason, we talked so much about who's going to be the starting running back. There's a lot of guys in that room, as if it was like there's just going to be one guy and everyone else is going to wait on the sideline. And then what we saw was Blake Watson and Sutton Smith both played a pretty significant role. They played together. They both caught passes out of the backfield. So it can be that 1-2 punch, even though both guys can do a lot of the same things. Right. You need multiple backs. You can't just have one guy back there every single down. So it's not about the pecking order so much as like both those guys are going to play and they're going to play a lot.
We talked about Seth Hennigan earlier, how I was saying how in years past, especially last year, it's like we had freshman year Seth, who was a breath of fresh air. There was a lot of buzz behind him last year. Kind of came back to earth, kind of had a, not the best season, didn't have a terrible season at all. It didn't, just kind of had a pretty basic season. This year, I talked about how we kind of know what he is. What do you think he's going to look like this year as the season goes on? Of course, with Bethune-Cookman, it's hard to really gauge, but this is his junior season. What do you think we'll see from Seth Hennigan?
Yeah, I think he's going to improve. I think people are expecting him to improve, like you just said, right? Like if you have a really good freshman year, people get excited about you, and then you kind of do the same thing the next year. They're saying, "What's the next step?" When
it's time to take that leap.
Yeah, but there's a lot of weapons around him, right? We just talked about the run game. That's supposed to take all the pressure off him, right? And let's be honest, the level of competition in this conference has dropped from last season. So you would pretty much everything points toward him having a better season. We'll see how that plays out, especially as we get into the back half of the schedule. But they're really excited about him. They're excited, really, that they have a third-year starting quarterback, because in this era of college football, like that's not something you see everywhere. Yeah. So that's big.
Yeah, Seth's been here. Like I said, this is his third season. This feels like the season where you're really going to see him really catch his stride. Like you said, the running game's got better. So hopefully that'll alleviate some pressure off of him. He'll be able to find his targets a little better. You also wrote about the kicking game, that you were impressed by things you saw from the kicking game this year. What are some of the things, some of the players you saw that make you feel like the kicking game is going to be tight this year?
Yeah, well, Ryan Silverfield basically said in the offseason that there was a competition for kicker, and this is a place that's had some pretty good kickers. Steven Gostkowski was out there on the field on Saturday, so obviously that's a high bar. But Seth Morgan came out and he hit a 45-yard field goal, which is really nothing to scoff at. I mean, like, it's a college kicker, right? The bar isn't super high, and he hit all his extra points. He hit both of his field goal attempts, and you never know, right? You get into the end of the season, there's close games. If you have a kicker who can make a 40-plus yard field goal, I mean, that's a huge plus in college football.
For sure. We talked about Arkansas State earlier, how they lost 73-0 to Oklahoma. The Tigers have a rivalry that I don't really think should be a rivalry. We've got this weird rivalry with Arkansas State where the games are a lot closer than it seems like they're supposed to be. It's been that way for years, man. Regardless of how good the Tigers are, how bad Arkansas State is, their game always seems a little bit too close for comfort. This has to be the year that Memphis actually beats those dudes. I don't really care that the game's on the road. I don't care about any of that. This seems like the year that Memphis should handily beat Arkansas State. Especially, you can't let a team lose 73-0, then you turn around, they play you to. They better not beat you, first of all. And they shouldn't be a team that's playing you to the final minutes as well. What kind of game do you think you'll see this Saturday on the road against Arkansas State?
Well, here's the thing. So they lose 73-0. So there's you
can only go up from there, man.
Well, I'm saying there's two options there. There's one, we saw at the end of their game, Butch Jones is crying and he's getting consoled by the players, right? So they could just completely shut down. That could be it, right? And he's someone who entered the season on the hot seat. So you lose 73-0. In some sense, you can only go up, but also that could just, you spent your whole offseason preparing for this team, right? Oklahoma's really good. You had to play at Oklahoma. No one expected them to win. But you spent your whole offseason doing that. That happens to you. Things could go bad, right? They could quit on you. Who knows? At the other end of it, you would think, right? Okay, you got humiliated. Now you're back at home. It's your home opener. It's a new week. It's a new team. We want to prove that that's not us. We want to prove that we're going to respond, and that's definitely the version of Arkansas State that Memphis is preparing for. But it's going to be hard for anyone to get that 73-0 taste out of their mouth, right? So if the game is even close, Memphis fans are going to be like, what's going on here? This we saw what happened to this team last week, right? So that's not supposed to happen. The spread is 21 points, right? So if it's a close game, something has probably gone wrong. Yeah.
And it could be a situation like you were saying, these guys just lost 73-0. They're already deflated. You get up 10-0, 13-0, 14. Right. They might fold it up. They might just shut the whole thing down. Of course, there's their rivalry aspect, so they're going to go hard, but it really could go either way. Final question before we start getting into some personal stuff about you, with you being a guy that that just recently moved here from California. What concerns do you have going into week 2 about this Tiger football team? That maybe something Coach Silverfield talked about, but something you may have just noticed on your own.
Yeah, I think from Saturday, the biggest thing is the turnovers, right? Lower level of competition. The offense allowed 2 touchdowns. No one is going to be okay with that. Yeah. Turning the ball over, and then I would say the biggest storyline this whole season is close games, right? They were 0-4 in one-score games last season. Right. If you want to improve your record, you have to figure out how to win close games. So it wasn't a close game on Saturday. We're not expecting a close one next week, but eventually this team is going to be in close games. They're going to have to be able to do something that they didn't do last year. And that means execution. It means mindset. There's a lot of different things that's wrapped up into that. But until we see them kind of compete in a game like that and win, I think people are going to be skeptical of how far this team can go.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of wait-and-see fans about this season, and they don't care about the Bethune-Cookman game. I think this Arkansas State game, the fact that we play them too close for comfort, seems like every year. I think that fans this is when we're really going to see, okay, kind of where we are and where we can be. Because this game is, if it's a loss, it's a nightmare. But if it's a close game, you're wondering, all right, here's another probably disappointing season. So I think there's a lot on the line for sure. Just want to get to know you a little bit more. Jonah, for sure, you moved here from California, haven't been in Memphis long. What brought you here? Like, what was your path to get you from L.A. to Memphis?
So before I came here, I lived in Hartford, Connecticut, actually. I was looking for a job covering a sports team. Got this opportunity. It's an amazing place. I'd never been here before. I'd never been anywhere in the South, actually.
Okay. It's different, ain't it, man?
Before I drove here from Connecticut, like
Right.
this was my first experience ever in the South. So it's different. I mean, people are nicer, like Southern hospitality, let's be honest. It's for real. Accents are different.
Yeah.
Again, trying to get used to that. So,
Are you struggling to understanding me? Because I hear a
No,
lot of
no.
people say that, even people from Memphis say they don't understand what I'm saying.
No, I got you. Sometimes like I'll sit down with someone and like I'll need them to repeat something a couple
Right.
times. But I'm starting to get used to it.
Okay.
Like give me a couple months and I'll be able to slip into it myself. That's what I'm hoping for. Because people hear me talking like, well, you're not from the South.
Right.
Which is like, all right.
Right. So what do you think about the city in general? Like, what do you like to do for fun? Like, what's your overall impressions of the city so far? I know you talked about the people are pretty nice here. Anything else you have as far as overall thoughts?
Memphis has like an identity, right?
Oh, yeah.
More so than any place that I've lived. Like I can tell right away. People just in Memphis, it's different.
Yeah.
They don't like a lot of other places around here. Right? They're very protective of their city, but they care a lot about it. And I'm trying to like even I was trying to talk to one of my colleagues, like, so what are the other colleges or the other teams that Memphis fans dislike the most, right? And like, what other cities do they dislike the most? Because every time I say like, oh, this guy went to this school, it's like, don't mention that school, don't mention that city, you know. So I'm trying to learn those things,
Right.
but that's the main thing I've noticed. Like, it just has and you see that like in the Grizzlies and grit and grind and everything. But until you're actually here and you see how people react to things, you don't really understand it. And that's what I've figured out since I've been here.
Now, I will say this. We kind of talked about this before the show started. There are most Memphians, most born and raised Memphians, as far as college basketball, it's probably 95% of born Memphians, especially if you're older than like 30 and up. Like, you're a Tiger basketball fan, like, period.
Right.
But on the football side, I don't know the percentages, but it's not the same level of loyalty. Because I know coming up, there were a lot of people who were Tiger basketball fans, but pulled for UT Knoxville football, or may pull for Ole Miss or
I know
whoever.
you're not supposed to say.
I ain't
you're
that
not
guy.
supposed to say UT. You're not supposed
No,
to.
I don't
mention
fool
that
with
color
UT
of
on no
orange.
level. But there are some Tennessee football fans who are born and raised Memphians who are Tennessee football fans and Tiger basketball fans. I think that came from kind of like our football team had a long run of just not really being that good. So a lot of fans are kind of fair weather as far as that goes.
Right.
But for the most part, we don't fool with the teams out east. We don't fool with Nashville as a city.
That's what I learned. Okay, so day one,
Mm-hmm.
I started work and I was having lunch with Jason Munns, who you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've never been in Nashville before, but it seems like a cool place. And he goes,
don't say
don't say that
that.
too loud.
No, keep that to yourself. But no, that goes deep, man. So yeah, it's one of those things that, you know, that has like, you know, social issues, racial issues, economic reasons. There's a lot of that pass between the city of Memphis, the city state of Memphis, and the rest of the state. There's a lot of stuff to that, man. So yeah. But yeah, you just stay out of that type of smoke, man. You ain't gotta.
No, I know.
you see for sure. What have you found to eat since you've been in the city of Memphis, man?
All right, well, I just told you. I kind of got outed on the pregame show for Memphis football the other day. I'm almost a lifelong vegetarian.
Okay.
Don't eat barbecue. So when I was moving here, everyone was like, all right, you're moving to Memphis. Like, you're going to eat some good barbecue. No, I'm like, that's not the thing for me.
Ain't happening.
Yeah, so if anyone knows any good vegetarian places out there, I'm
not the
taking
guy for that, man.
recommendations. I feel like I'm not in the right place.
No, you're
for
not in
that.
the right place. Paris Sharkey behind the glass. Do you know any vegetarian spots you suggest for me?
No, none at all. I'm not a vegetarian myself.
Nah, just
so
whatever you get, just put some of that barbecue sauce or some honey gold sauce.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got a lot to learn. Like I said,
Have they told you about honey gold sauce? Is that?
no.
Okay. That's more for wings. Well, you don't do the wings either. But yeah, I'm just saying, you just put the Memphis barbecue sauce or the honey gold sauce on whatever you're doing. You'll still get that Memphis vibe.
right.
Get some good dry rub.
There
You
we
got
go.
veggie wings.
Yeah, you get but you ain't gonna get that in no wing place. You get stuff like that. Like
I don't think so.
No, they're gonna look at you crazy.
Real vegan spots.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to walk in there and try to.
No, they're
get
gonna
them to look at me
crazy.
funny if I try to ask for something.
I've had the fried mushroom wings. Those are I rock with them. The cauliflower
Right, so
kind
there
I
we
can't
go.
do it.
I know people at cauliflower wings is like a thing now.
Nah, that shit nasty. But the mushroom kind though, I can get with it for sure. But yeah, man. But I'm glad that you're here, man. I'm glad you're doing your thing. I hope you enjoy the city. Hope that you several people came here, found love, found their wife, raised kids, all that, It might be a short stint, might be a long stint, man. But while you're here, man, we appreciate what you're doing. Tiger football, trying to take it to the next level this year. Check out my boy, Jonah Dylan, on the Memphis Commercial Appeal. Real quick, though, man, another aspect of your job is the Grizzlies stuff that you do.
Yeah.
Any quick thoughts about, what you expect to see from that this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think it all comes down to like the beginning of the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's it going to look like without Ja?
Yeah.
How is he going to integrate when he comes back? But look, Marcus Smart comes in, like there's no reason why this team can't compete at the top of the league, right?
Yeah.
And the expectations are as high as they've been. So I'm excited to be around it, especially once football season wraps up. Like I said, it seems like people, they really care about these teams, right? Like the Grizzlies and Tigers basketball, especially. Like when they're good, people they're gonna buy in.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, we're glad to have you here. Like I said, man, it's my man Jonah Dylan covers Tiger football for the Commercial Appeal. Also, is gonna do some Grizzlies reporting as well. If you see him in the city, tell him where you can get some good vegetarian food because I don't know shit about it, man. So y'all hit him up, let him know about it for sure. We're about to go to break, man. When we come back, it's the 3-pointer here on the Anthony Sain Show. See y'all in a minute.
On offense, I'll say Blake Humsky. I think that his ability to be the slot guy, because I think the outside guys are going to kind of open up a little bit more for him on the inside. Plus, we've seen him do some serious work already at Toledo.
I'm going Sutton. We've heard a lot about him. Seen him in a lot of the clips they're posting, just his shiftiness, his ability to make plays, make people miss, change of direction, how they're going to use him in multiple areas. Handing off in the backfield, receiving, putting him in the slot potentially, give him the opportunity to return kicks. I think he's the X factor.
Simeon seems like the easiest possible
he's a
answer.
coach on the field.
Yeah, Simeon seems like the easiest answer there. Oh, I think it's going to be Simeon Blair, but I think it will be in tackles. I obviously don't want your safety to lead the team in tackles.
That is a superlative. Don't start talking about that yet.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. Bluff City Media and Bluff City NIL are proud partners of Coaching for Literacy, a Memphis nonprofit using the power of sports to impact childhood literacy. When you donate to Bluff City NIL through Coaching for Literacy, your gift is 100% tax deductible. This partnership is a win-win-win. Tiger student-athletes win in the NIL landscape, Coaching for Literacy wins by engaging Tiger student-athletes in this monumental cause, and most importantly, elementary students in Memphis receive support to become strong readers. To donate today, visit coachingforliteracy.org/bluff-city.
So, and let's preface this with this because you always got to have a disclaimer somewhere. This is not something that is set in stone. Like,
Of course not.
Coaches, a lot of the times, and I've been covering the University of Memphis football program for, I think this is year 6, maybe. I think year 6. There are surprises on the two deep every year, and it's like, what's going on? Sometimes it's an upperclassman thing. They like to get some upperclassmen on there. I've seen walk-ons on there before to kind of just give them a pat on the back, like, good job, you've worked your butt off here, your name's on here. This doesn't mean these will be the players playing.
Of course not.
Does it give us an indication? Is this our only indication as of right now today? Yes.
Who's gonna play in Bethune-Cookman this weekend?
But you'll see you'll see names play in that game that aren't on that too deep. So I just want to push that out there.
It's not set in stone.
It's not set in stone.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. Shout out to my boy Jonah Dylan again. Y'all, if y'all know some vegan restaurants, hit him up, man. That man probably, I don't know what that brother eating, because he's like 25 years old. I don't know if he's got a wife or he got a girl down here came with him, but that man might be struggling to eat around this joint, man.
I can't imagine.
Oh, man, for sure. I can't do it. Imagine being vegetarian in Memphis. I don't know what to tell that brother.
It's tough.
I don't know what to tell that brother. Thoughts and prayers out to my boy Jonah Dylan for sure and his eating while he's in the M. But yeah, man, it's time for the 3-pointer where we talk about 3 things going on in the world of sports since our last show. Number 1, USA basketball had just an embarrassing loss to Lithuania. People writing articles about how Lithuania has never been afraid of the United States, how their team built to beat the United States. Then they turn around and get their ass blew out by Serbia, by the Serbs today, by like 30. You know what I mean? It's crazy. United States, of course, bounced back, got a big win over Italy in the quarterfinals. Don't have the final score listed. I think they won by like at least 30, 40 points.
Like
though.
100-63.
Yeah, man. Jaren Jackson Jr., this is all I'll say as far as Jaren's concerned. Did have some foul trouble today from what I saw. I think he had 3 in the first half. Only had 9 minutes in the first half, if I'm not mistaken. Here's the thing about Jaren, man. Jaren, I'm gonna put some blame on Steve Kerr. Now, I don't know. The United States at this point still is a favorite to win it all. I still have them winning it all. I don't think there's anyone left in this tournament that can deal with them even closely. Still, as this is recording, we don't know who won the Germany, and who is it? Whoever they're playing. Germany's probably gonna win the game. All right, but Germany will probably get killed by the United States if we play them again. But anyway, I have to blame a lot on Steve Kerr. I called him a one-trick pony on Twitter. Most people agree with me. A lot of Golden State Warrior fans and just whatever people came at me saying they don't understand why I said that. That wasn't just one game. People say, how are you going to make that judgment after one game? No. First of all, this is international play. That game means a lot more than just – this isn't a Monday night game against the Wizards, you know what I mean, that they lost. This is international play where, you know, you're expected to win. You didn't win last time they had the FIBA World Championship. You came in 7th place. So these games mean a lot, man. There's a lot of weight to them. And you've had 2 bigs on this roster, 2, you know, true bigs on this team. That's Jaren and Walker Kessler. That's your only 2 bigs. Mm-hmm. Steve Kerr had something to do with this roster's makeup. He wasn't just handing over a team. He had something to do with the selection of this team. This team should have more bigs, period. Even if they win the whole thing, this roster is very flawed, man. You've got Paolo Banchero playing backup center behind Jaren. That's not his natural position. And you're playing against guys who are big bigs. You know what I mean? The Jonas Valanciunas, the Gucci Manes. I mean, the Vucci Manes, I'm sorry. Those type of dudes, man. And it's like you're screwing around and you're taking Jaren, who's a power forward, forcing him to play center, starting at center without another, you know, bruiser, not another guy out there. And Jaren's the type of guy, he's just trying to block shots. Yep. Period. Mm-hmm. He's going to aggressively try to block shots. And now he's having to guard these guys, these like, you know, these foreign bigs who are different than the bigs he sees, you know, in the United States.
Old school NBA big man.
He's out there playing guys who's like, I'm trying to play Steven Adams. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? With the offensive game, though. You know what I mean? Bulkier guys. I think a lot of people are criticizing Jaren, but I think Jaren is fine. He's holding his own. Like, he's getting thrown into the fire into something that he doesn't do in the NBA. And he's not looking bad out there doing. He's looked great doing moments in this stuff.
The thing is, he might just had a couple.
Yeah.
Overall, like the beginning, he was arguably the most important player on the team.
And he still is. Yeah. And he's had some foul trouble. He's had games where he's looked a little physically outmatched. But I've seen Jaren dominate guys that are on his level in the NBA. I've seen him have games where he was getting to the basket, doing whatever he wanted to do, posting up guys, looking very dominant on both ends of the court. I'm not really concerned about this. There are some guys here that are getting the best of him, that are physically overwhelming him, but those aren't the guys he's going to have to play when the season starts. Jaren is going to be your power forward this year. He's not going to be your 5. He's going to be playing beside Steven Adams, who can carry a lot of that bulk. I'm fine with what I'm seeing from Jaren, man. I've seen some Grizzly fans being critical. I'm not him being thrown in this situation is good for him. Go ahead, bro.
Josh Hart is starting at power forward.
Right.
Come on.
Exactly, man.
Jaren, if he's gonna start at center, you need to have a Brandon Clark type of power forward that can grab rebounds and everything. So.
Yeah, man. But it's all good. I'm expecting for the United States to pull this out. Oh, I want Canada so bad, man, for so many reasons. I hope we get Canada in that gold medal game. I think we get past Germany, and hopefully we get Canada for the gold.
And Germany plays Latvia.
Yeah.
That's who they play.
Yeah. It's going to be some vampires out there. I mean, just I don't want to offend the whole country. I've done that before on Twitter, and they came at me. So,
Nah.
ain't Latvia where vampires are from? I know Transylvania, but ain't Latvia where they say they're from too? I don't know.
That's a really good question.
Yeah, never mind. Latvians, I apologize. I didn't finish. Number 2, Mikey Williams was supposed to have a court hearing today, I believe. That date was pushed back to, I think, October the 10th. Some people are saying that this probably is a death blow as far as him being able to play for the Tigers this year. I don't know. My thing is, I think that it's been stated that he has not enrolled in classes yet, and it may be too late to enroll in classes, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm understanding.
I don't know about this Mikey thing, man. I want to say I don't care, and I think I'll stand on I don't care, whether he plays or not this year. I talked a few weeks ago about how if he was to play, what his role could look like. That'll be cool. I'm with that, but I'm also with whatever they got because they've got solid guards up and down. They've got guys that can play multiple positions. I don't think they'll be hurting without Mikey. I think he's been a great cherry on top, but I hope he just gets his stuff figured out. My thinking before this ruling got ruled back was that Penny's whole approach was going to be wait and see. If this is lowered down to a misdemeanor, he probably would have got Mikey on campus. I was dying laughing when Penny was like, yeah, I think he's in town, but ain't nobody seen him. Like, we ain't seen him.
Cap.
That whole thing is strange, man. But, yeah, that date has been pushed back. So it seems like because of the fact that he hasn't already enrolled, it may be too late to enroll is what I'm pretty much hearing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think at least this semester, like probably you've had players that were enrolled in January, right?
Right.
Play the second half of the season conference play, and they just can't play the beginning.
Right. Which could very well happen with him.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see how this whole thing plays out for sure, man. I'd hate for him to move to Orange Mound for nothing and can't even play. So, yeah. Mikey Williams.
From San Diego to Orange Mound,
Right.
they did.
Right. So Mikey Williams, still up in the air. His date for his hearing has been moved up to October the 10th, I believe. Number 3, Mike Norvell. Like I said, he was on the hot seat for just a few hours. All eyes were on him. The prime time watch is on him. He is on the clock. We all believe that Deion's ultimate destination will be Florida State. Whatever. I want to see him beat Florida State, man. Whatever it is, I'm just pulling for Coach Prime. But this isn't about Coach Prime. It's about Coach Mike Norvell. He answered the bell big time. Florida State, big win over LSU, 45-24. After Coach Brian Kelly of LSU stated, and I quote, "We're going to beat the heck out of Florida State."
Tough.
I mean, you take a big time L. You almost got doubled up out there, Brian Kelly. When asked, Coach Norvell said, "It's just good to be able to play the game." Coach Norvell said, "Did you see the neck motion? Have you seen the video?"
No.
But his neck was popping. Like he was stretching his neck like, yeah, I'd just really put these hands on this dude real fast. Shout out to Coach Norvell, man, for getting this shit off on the field out there with his guys. Also, Keon Coleman said in response, he said, "Where he said that at?" He started laughing. And he said, "I don't recall. I didn't see anything at all." From Keon Coleman.
He had a heck of a game. I think he had 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, man. Let me say this, though. Shout out to Mike Norvell answering the bell after Coach Prime won his game. But, man, after what Coach Prime did, you think if somebody said, yeah, we're gonna beat Colorado, you think Coach Prime would have had that type of energy? Oh, hell no. That man would have went all the way off of them folks.
Not at all.
Yeah, man, for sure.
But, yeah, Mike Norvell always been, like, very just sturdy coach. I covered the Tigers back in 2018 when he was here, so he's very just mild-mannered. That's just how he's always been.
Can I say a take about Mike Norvell being fake without saying he's fake?
Go ahead.
Yeah, he's kind of phony to me. I always kind of thought he was phony. But, yeah. Shout out to Coach Norvell. I don't want people to think that's because he came here and left. I just always kind of thought he was
coach speak.
Disingenuous. Yeah, I kind of think the guy he was presenting wasn't particularly the guy he was. But, yeah, shout out to Coach Norvell for sure, though, man, for getting this shit off on the field. But I would love to see him talk a little shit after the game as well.
Yeah, especially after that, man.
Yeah, you got to, man. You can't go out.
Brian Kelly talk like that, and y'all beat them like in the fashion that y'all did.
Yeah.
I need a little more.
Get your ass doubled up. Oh, no, I'm talking crazy. I'd be like, take that L. Put that capital L in LSU. You hear me?
Right.
That's what I would have been on. But yeah, man, we're about to take a break. When we come back, man, it's Inside the Sain Brain. I don't know what to say about this one, man. We'll talk about when we come back here on the Anthony Sain Show.
Bluff City Media and Bluff City NIL are proud partners of Coaching for Literacy, a Memphis nonprofit using the power of sports to impact childhood literacy. When you donate to Bluff City NIL through Coaching for Literacy, your gift is 100% tax deductible. This partnership is a win-win-win. Tiger student athletes win in the NIL landscape, Coaching for Literacy wins by engaging Tiger student athletes in this monumental cause, and most importantly, elementary students in Memphis receive support to become strong readers. To donate today, visit coachingforliteracy.org/bluff-city.
The last time they had players with that level of shiftiness, just it's a different look, like it's a different kind of movement that Blake Watson and Sutton Smith have that we haven't seen in Memphis since Kenny. And the dynamic ability that adds is huge, because not only can you use them between the tackles, outside the tackles, but they've both shown that they can be effective receivers. I think Blake had 5 catches for 37 yards in this game on top of his 75 rushing yards.
3 touchdowns in the first half,
Right. So we've been high on this backfield saying that they have weapons. Still, this took that to the next level.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. They named the captains.
Did name the
Remind
captain.
me.
I know exactly who they are, and they nailed
Jonah,
it.
Seth. What? I thought it was Jonah.
No.
Jacob.
Jacob. That's what I meant. Jacob. Why is that so funny?
He said this was the first time he had a player voted captains.
Really?
This is player voted.
Silverfield said that?
Yep.
So how much does
nailed
that? How much does that say? Simeon Blair, who was an Arkansas captain, but how impressive to come in as a transfer. You've been through one spring and half of a fall camp, and you get voted a team captain.
Have you ever heard Ryan Silverfield talk about a player the way he's talked about Simeon Blair?
No, literally no.
I'm just saying.
Rumor
it's
has it
slightly concerning
that they are considering renaming Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium Simeon Blair
Liberty
Stadium.
I can confirm that, actually.
I'm letting you know, when you see the mock-up come out,
at Simdog Stadium.
that would be cooler.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all, welcome back to the final segment of the Anthony Sain Show. First of all, shout out to my man, Jonah Dylan, coming in. Great interview with him, man. Really impressed with how he seems super comfortable. He was like, this is my first time getting comfortable like this week. You know what I mean? My first time getting interviewed like this week, doing stuff on different radio spots or whatever. Good to have him on, man. He seems like he's ready to jump in. I didn't want to ask him this because I didn't want to make it feel like I was trying to bust him out. But I think this is his first journalism gig. Like, this is his first. Didn't you kind of pick that up? He said, "I've always." He said
he was looking for. He said he was looking for like a
sports
for a
gig.
team. Yeah, he did. Yep.
Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, what's up? Congrats to him if that's the case. If not, do your thing, homie. We're glad to have you on. I had somebody say, he said, "Man, I love your show because, like, I have a very small idea of who actually does what." He said, "You're introducing me to more people that cover sports in the city of Memphis I didn't even know did their thing, and they all see. And you're letting us see them as individuals, as personalities, and I liked it about the show. That's what I did with the sit down with Sain. That's what the purpose of it was, to get people to kind of see the person behind, that tweet or that story that you read in the commercial appeal. Let you see these are real dudes, man. Like I tell them, if you want to cuss, come on here and cuss, man. Let the people hear you cuss. It works.
Gotta work out no cuss button.
Right. Just let the people hear you cuss one time. But good stuff from my boy, man. My guy Jonah Dylan. Just had a conversation with him the other day on the phone. Seems like a pretty cool dude, though. Inside the Sain Brain is what we're about to do now, Paris Sharkey. Sharkey, I kind of sit back and I listen to a lot of podcasts, listen to a lot of sports radio. And this particular topic has been, I'm behind on this one. You know what I mean? But I had to watch this when I watched it. Let everybody else get their thoughts up. Not my design, but I just haven't had a chance to sit down and watch this. And it's BS high, what I'm going to talk about today, man. Ron, is it Ron Johnson? Roy Johnson. Roy Johnson.
Oh, Roy.
Yeah, Roy Johnson is his name. For those of you who don't know the story, I'll give a summation of it. A guy has an idea to start a school that's a college preparatory school, but it's not particularly connected to a actual school. It's actually a football program. Mm-hmm. I've seen guys do similar things to this, and what they did was actually very similar. But what it was is you have a lot of kids who played sports, played basketball, played football, but they're unsigned. No college has them. So what they would do, and he even said he started off doing this too, they would have like camps where they would invite coaches to come see these kids who are unsigned, trying to get them signed by somebody. Or he would just take a kid, do some workouts with them, and try to get these kids, signed off to somebody.
Right.
I know a lot of people do that. And there are a lot of guys that do that, and there is a financial incentive to it. You know what I mean? Like they may be getting some type of money from the coach or getting some type of money from even hosting these camps where the coaches come, etc. Most guys just do it out of love, or the money they make is just recouping expenses they've spent. Like it's not like they're really making money off of these kids.
Yeah.
But he took it up another level and started an actual team that would compete against high school teams.
And the top programs is there.
Right. And he made this team a traveling team that would compete against teams across the country with an effort to get film of these kids because they haven't had film in years, to get real film for these kids and try to get them to college. So there's some essence of a pure motive in doing this. Of course, they're known for the game that was on ESPN against IMG Academy that everyone knew about. And they were saying this is a fake team. This isn't a real school. All these type of things came out about Bishop Sycamore. I'll say this about Roy Johnson. I think he definitely has some type of mental issue. There's something not right with him. He's a pretty dastardly guy as well. I got really turned off. I've seen people say that this stuff is funny. I didn't laugh at anything in this show, man. As a person, you've worked with young people, Parrish. I have. Kenny's worked with young people. As a person who's done those things before in the past, I was really turned off by a lot of the stuff this guy was doing. Because you're talking about kids playing with no trainers on the team. Ooh. Guys were getting hurt on national television. Right. And the kid's mom came out there talking about she was the trainer. Yep. No trainers, no medical stuff going on at all. Bad equipment, like cheap equipment. One kid was using stuff he used from an old team he had.
And they had to swap helmets.
Yeah, they had to swap helmets.
I played football. There's no way.
Yeah.
You can just
take a helmet off. Because the helmet's supposed to be like pumped up with, like it's like fitted to your head
it
almost.
Fits to you, right.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. They were swapping helmets. Kids getting injured, like I said, major injuries. He was telling them to go back out there and play. Mm-hmm. Kids, like, career's probably over now because of that type of stuff.
Playing games in two days. ESPN game, they just played Friday.
Yeah, just played that Friday. They turned right back around. That charging tuition to be on this team, $14,000 tuition, something like that to play on this team that has no school connected to it, just strictly to play on this team. And then having the kids, suggesting that the kids get PPP loans, helping them set those up, and taking the money and paying himself with these kids, getting apartments in their name,
not paying hotels or sending bounce checks,
all kind of credit card scams, having these kids steal food, help him to steal food to feed them. It's just embarrassing, man. And there are people who have good intentions for kids who do things like this, who try to find kids who are out of eligibility and try to get them exposure, try to get them connected with guys who can record and edit highlights and these type of things, work them out, keep them in shape, hold these camps for the coaches to come see them. There are guys who do this across the country. And for this guy to move so disgustingly, man, it's just nasty, nasty, nasty work, man. It just really made me angry. There are certain moments where he just really just, dude. Then like when the kids like opened up and broke down and talked about how much this guy let them down, man. For him to get defensive and like lash back out at the kids. I'm like, man, no, like stop, man. And like lying about stuff. And then they said he had some domestic violence stuff going on.
They beat that homeless guy.
Yeah, they beat up on that homeless dude. That just sounded just sick, man.
Ran over some geese on purpose.
Right, yeah. Now I'm gonna say this, man. As a person whose car was stolen, like I understand that level of anger. But that you caught the guy breaking into your car, and you had your team beat this dude's ass. Like you had kids go out there and beat this dude, man. And
the assistant coach just sitting there.
And his kid was one of the kids.
Yep.
Sad, sick stuff, man. BSI. I don't know if this dude gets paid for you watching this. Probably not. He probably got paid off the top. Yeah, he's probably not getting paid residually for this show. Go check it out. I think it's on Max, formerly HBO Max. Sad stuff, man. The fact that he got it to this far, and then he keeps talking about how, man, I feel like I won. I feel like, I got attention on these kids, and I still feel like I did the right thing. No, man, like you were using these kids you were getting $12,000 to $14,000 tuition per kid. Do the math, man. You made over $500,000 per season, fooling around with these kids, talking about money that he spent for this and that. You were scamming the entire way, man. The kids weren't even getting good meals. You went on Twitter and targeted kids that were in the area, that were in the close to you, that you could get sliding in their DM trying to get them to go to your school, man, so you could pray off of them, man. It is sick.
Then just when you thought we had a feel-good story, the quarterback getting an offer from Grambling.
Yeah. He had got it pulled. Yeah, because of the kind of team he was on. And there are other ways he could have went about this, man. He could have he could have had a group of kids that, I don't know, played some level of, community ball or something. Just if he could have did something like that, I don't know. I don't know what he could have done. But he could have had camps or something, man. But doing this is just wild. You make these kids look so bad, no protection for them. They probably had no insurance, nothing. They probably just out there just getting hurt. You had nobody qualified to be dealing with these kids, man. But Monty Jones summed up so many things so well. How in African American community, coaches are looked at so highly, man. They're respected so much. And this guy's out here just betraying that trust. And you had a parent that was your right-hand man who was nasty right with you. You know what I mean? So, man.
A couple other points. The guy in the beginning, his former assistant, how he first acted like he didn't know him.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, he was around for about 3 weeks. Maybe 6 months.
And dude got away because he was like, no, this is sick.
How you go for not saying I don't know him to saying he was around for 6 months?
Yeah, he got away because he was like, no, man, that dude's a joke. And he said, he called his wife like, hey, the damn fool's on TV. Right. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So
also they had grown people. He had a JUCO college players already in college.
Just so sad, man. Because I know guys who advocate for these type of kids, try to get them exposure, to pay money out of their pocket to take these kids to tryouts for junior colleges and things like that. And man, it's just nasty, man. I don't know what his end game was. How long do you think you could just be out here just finessing, man?
And he said he's still going.
Trying to keep it going. Trying to get it started back.
I'm like, bro.
He's like, this show is going to help me get more exposure. I'm like, man, stop it, bro. You just sick in the head, man. Anybody who's like trying to champion that dude, get out of my face for sure, man. But yeah, man, that's another show, man. Another Anthony Sain show. Thank you guys for checking it out. Shout out once again to my man Jonah Dylan for the Sit Down with Sain. Appreciate everything you guys are doing, man. We got a lot of stuff planned, man, coming in the future. I'm telling you, it's going to be a blast here on the Anthony Sain show. Thank you guys for checking us out. Thank you guys for subscribing. Share the post, man. I heard we got some billboards out here in the city of Memphis, man. People tell me they seen my handsome face on 240. No, this type of stuff. I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it. Did you say you saw it?
I saw it,
but the one you saw didn't have me on it, right?
You wasn't on it, but I also barely got it. It was like, you drive on this person when you're speeding, and so you kind of like, all right, let me try and hurry up and get this picture in. It was still just like a bare, like I had just mounted right where I was turning.
But it just had the Bluff City media. Somebody said they saw me on a billboard. All right, here go my question.
I know we have two of them, so.
Right. Here go my question, though. Is it a solid billboard? Is it like one of those moving joints?
No, that's why I don't know. Because by the time I saw it, I was already past it.
Man, I got to find it, man.
Yeah, I was already kind of past it when I saw it.
For sure, man. But yeah, man, we about to slide about this joint, man. We're going to see y'all on Friday at noon. Got a very special guest coming on then. I ain't going to tell y'all who it is. One of my guys, man. You know what it is. You know what we do, man. You know we bring y'all what y'all want, what y'all need. Going to have a nice guest on Friday. We about to slide about this joint, man. For my man, Paris Sharkey. Don't be alarmed. Kenny Stubblefield will be back. You know, he over here moonlighting over here with Christian Fowler and them with the other joint they do, man, with the interviews with the Tiger football player. I ain't mad, man. You know, I ain't Seth Hennigan nobody. I ain't Seth Hennigan nobody, bro. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I try to do my thing too. But yeah, for my boy Kenny Stubblefield, keep doing your thing out there, man, for sure. Rocking and rolling. Bluff City Media doing big things. Y'all better watch out for us for sure. My man Paris Sharkey behind the glass. Take it easy, my boy. We're gonna see y'all next time, man, on the Anthony Sain Show. And we out.
Thank you for listening to the Anthony Sain Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.